Hi everybody, it's Michael. We're going on our third installment here. This will be another chance for me to talk with you and communicate. What we're going to do is kind of talk about, what happened with the Donald Trump thing. We're also going to try and put ourselves in a situation to where we can begin to communicate with each other. I'm going to give you some ideas. I personally only have, I'd have to say, viable information, because I'm using what I've done over the years and what has been good for me and what I know to be bad because of all the oppression and all of the pushback from especially the white community. So today our issue is going to be local government type things. So what we're going to do is talk about your neighbors. We're going to talk about, volunteering some things, doing some stuff like look for projects and identify, things that you can do in the community, because the majority of the problems that people have today is they don't do things. They just sit around and complain, and most likely that's you. But because now this situation is the way it is, it means now that if you are not part of the problem, then that means you're part of the solution. Because now we got problems everywhere. And I mean, it's just not the drugs. It's just not people that, don't want to conform to the society or that are disgruntled. There are so many things now to where now most people don't even want to talk to their neighbors. Why should they? They don't want to be involved with, people that they don't like or anything else. But you got to remember, your neighbor is very important to you. What happens if somebody robs you? There's nobody looking out for you? So talk about your neighbor. See somebody that you like. And again, whether there's other cultures or whether these other people do other things, that's okay. You have to put a situation together where your home is protected, where your family is protected, and that means that the people around you need to play some part. If you don't want to, that's cool. Because I believe that, say in my community, we knew everybody in our community. Even when we moved over to the white part of town, the first thing was my mom became very friendly with a guy across the street. His name was Billy Lopez. He was an inventor. Good guy. He was really cool. But my brother and we were real friends with the family and everything else, but we were neighbors. But then we started finding out that there was a lady next door to us that, she swept the street all the time. She cleaned up in front of our house. Everybody thought she was crazy. But my mom loved that woman because her ethics were unbelievable. No weeds, no trash. She would clean up yours and ours. And she was happy with that. Now you can't find nobody to even rake their own yard up. And then you wonder why certain communities are the way they are. That's because the people in that community do not care about their neighbors, or I'd have to say their social surroundings. Let's look at it like that. Because again, if you feel like you're a part, just like poor people feel like nobody wants to help them. And that's true to a certain extent. But then you've got rich people that want to help, but they can't find anybody. Why? Because you guys are hiding. Because you keep thinking that, if I just stay here and everything will work out. You got to remember, there's a higher authority here. And this higher authority expects all of us to work together. Because that higher authority calls this a body. Me personally, I'm a hair. Matter of fact, I'm a hair on my master's butt. Oh no, you didn't think about it? But I guarantee you, when my master goes to heaven, I'm going with him. And I'm going on his behind. On a hair. Okay, let's say it's that big. But I'm going. Why? Because I'm making those issues. I'm talking to my neighbors. I'm dealing with the police. I tried to help somebody and they stole my car. Another topic altogether. But I don't have that anonymity. I don't have that problem. So I'm hoping you don't. Because you need your neighbors. Okay? You have to have them. Otherwise you lose everything. You lose what you call social behavior. So that makes it unnatural. Then you become selfish or greedy simply because you believe that your yard is better than the next person's. which in again causes pride, a bunch of other issues that you really don't want to go down. You begin to judge. You begin to say that that person is bad. Oh, because compared to me. Me, I'm the laziest person I know. But just so happens, I happen to do a little more than most. That's all I can say. Because I don't know everybody. I don't know what they're doing. I know people that grind away just trying to get muscles on their body. And they're that big. Okay? So, your neighbor's important. You need to know who's doing what. Because also in your neighborhood, there are people that think like you. They want to know you, but you're not applicable. So, stay where you are. And again, the warning is don't listen. Because if you're not going to be nice to your neighbor, then you're not doing why you were created. You keep thinking, oh, this is here for you. You're wrong. Let's get this right. We're not here just to do nothing. We're here to protect this environment. Remember? We were supposed to protect these animals. We were supposed to put ourselves in check. Why? Because we are the only creatures in existence that think, move, and act. So, the big question is, why don't you know who your neighbor is? You need them. Why don't you? So here's the deal. You get to know your neighbor, and the next thing you know, you're like, wow, wait a minute, there's an old lady down the street. Maybe she needs some help with her leaves. We used to do this all the time. My mom used to tell me, go down there and rake Miss Wilson's yard right now. She old, she hurt, she's sick. Get your butt down there or you won't be eating for the next week. Oh, you know my ass went down there with a plastic bag and a rake. Matter of fact, I took 3 bags. My mom said, put this near her trash, and when her trash day come, put that trash out. Help your neighbor. Help your elders. Help your fellow man. If you don't do it, warning time comes in again. Don't do it. That's all fine. I don't care. Because I don't have to answer for you. My master said, help. You're big enough. You're smart enough. You understand? Help. You don't? Now you don't get what you want. Not my problem. So, let's go back to the community service. There's a lot of things you can do in community service with your neighbors. So you find out the old lady's she's really bad. Maybe her husband died. She's a widow. Because widows and orphans are important. We were told to do that. So let's do that and quit playing the game. So listen, the old lady's hurt. She's not feeling good. Maybe there's a food giveaway. You think you can help the old lady out? Or do you even want to? Do you even care if this woman, this person, this human being? No, you don't care. Why? Because you're selfish. That's your problem. We ain't going to deal with that. But listen, it's just not the food giveaway. There's also easy issues like community service. You can go and help other nonprofits within your area, especially the ones that are not as wealthy. Don't go to United Way. Just forget it. Don't go to, well, I'm not going to say don't go. Just make up your mind. But look at the United Way. These people are getting paid a lot of money, man. And all they're doing is repeating the same thing over and over. Right now, in time, there is no new thing. This technology is all bad. That's the reason why I'm on here. But when you begin to look at the fact that working in your community means that you can't look at the fact that, okay, I'm wealthy and I'm only going to serve these people. Because if you look at the United Way, and this is one of the things I'll talk about later, if you look at the United Way has actually disturbed and created the institutional poverty that I talk about in the black community. Why? Because when the NFL, the Major League Baseball people, or the NBA, they put all these black people together, but guess what? These black people don't live in our neighborhood. These rich athletes, let's see, their publicists or whoever the people they work for are all white. The company that signed their contract is all white, so you're only going to do things for the white people. You're not going to go and set up shop in the black community so anybody else can, so the black community can have a reversal of fortune. They didn't do that. All of the contracts. Do you see a large presence from the NBA or the NFL in any of the black communities? No, you don't. So, here's how we look at it. if you look at the projects around your community, you have to look at the fact that who's working on that job? Who's doing the work within that community? Even though you do the community service, or you create issues like block parties to get information out to people. The way you get those people that are not working to work is find out where the city's putting these projects together, so we can make sure they're working. Because these are city projects, and these are county projects, these are state projects, these are federal projects. These people should be required to hire those that are not working. Why do you keep giving jobs to people that are already working? And then, well, let's wait until this guy comes along, and then we'll start the job. Wait a minute, man. You mean to tell me there aren't all these poor people on welfare that can't hold a flag? That would be a different story if they couldn't work. But the majority of them can. And I don't care if it's sitting on the phone calling somebody. I don't care if it's walking over there in a wheelchair picking up that trash. I don't really care if it's helping that old lady rake up her leaves, clean up her property. Do something. Don't just sit there and complain. And see, that's the problem. When President Obama got in office, he was talking about the volunteer issue. He was talking about how you need to work with your community to do this in order to make your community better. A lot of this happened. Because I know where I'm from, we did block parties like almost every week. Then we broke it down because the crime started going down. Everything was cool. Everybody was this and that. That's because everybody knew their neighbors. So when somebody came in and decided to sell drugs or prostitute or steal or do these other things, they could identify that person like that. Well, that's so-and-so. He wouldn't do that. We know who he is. We understand what he does. He's part of us. But if you're an outsider and no one knows you, number one example. A long time ago, we used to go to parties. And me, I'm the only black guy on the north side of town in Fresno. So I'm going to party and I'm running into racist motherfuckers all the time, calling somebody a nigger. What? Is you crazy? I came with my crew, partner. The first thing I ask anybody in the room is, who knows this guy? This fool here? I'm getting ready to hurt him. Why? Because he disrespected me. Number one, he don't know me. Number two, he called me out my name. And if I'm not understanding, it was some sort of racial issue. I ask, who is this person? Who knows him? I need somebody to verify this person before he gets knocked out. That's a courtesy. That's communication. I practice that. Me and my friends want to fight now. You disrespect me and my friends, we're going to go down. But it's a neighbor still. I asked. I didn't want to tear nobody's house up. Why? We can go outside and I can beat this guy. I can still come back in after the party's over. Think. Try to understand. But the problem is, people are not thinking about others. You're thinking about yourselves all the time. Oh, me, 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 me. Right now, I'm going to tell you something. Instead of doing crime or doing things wrong, I'd rather go homeless. And I say that because I've been homeless. I don't want to do anything wrong anymore. Do you understand that? I don't even want to. Now, speeding, I ain't got a problem with that. But I don't want to do anything wrong anymore. I don't want to litter. I don't want to steal. Actually, halfway don't want to do bad thoughts. But already I've got a bunch of bad habits that I'm trying to get rid of. Stop smoking. Really down to drinking. Really, really down. I don't hurt anybody anymore. I'm a nice guy. I'm literally a nice guy, and I know that. But this is what I'm supposed to be, so I can't really say that it's some kind of big thing. It just happened. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to talk about the fact that if the city, the county, state, and federal agencies are having jobs in your community, find out. Why isn't these people are working? And tell me, why is it all of these people are Mexicans and they don't speak no English? That's the reason why I'm disabled right now. I got a bunch of little people working with a giant. Now, I'm the one that always ends up getting hurt. Done with it. And now I have the time to say, every company that hires an illegal Mexican is about to be fined and ripped down to the ground. I don't care if the broad is cleaning. Matter of fact, hint, make money. Take pictures, then get with Homeland Security. Start taking pictures of these jobs. Everybody that walks in now, get their picture. Every person that's over here illegally. You guys want to talk crazy? All you big shots? Hey, I heard there's 2 million people in California that are working or here I'd say 1 million of them have jobs. Why are they working? Why didn't they go to Mexico? I'm not going to Mexico to get a job, so why are they coming here? But I understand the issue. Everybody wants to eat. But here we go. We're almost done. The issue is to communicate. Okay, this is the training issue here. This is the reason why. If you can't do this, then expect to fail. We talked about that. But here's the other issue. If you can't do this, guess what? Rest of your life is not going to go well. I'm saying that now because, again, the warning does come into play. Don't look at this because you won't have an excuse. Don't act like you didn't know because I've told you. Don't act like you didn't listen or you negated what I said because the black man, he has nothing to offer. He's not as important as I am. Or better yet, I need what he has more than he does. So I'm going to steal it from him. And I'll think of every other way possible not to get it back to him. Like, oh wow, somebody's coming to pick me up. I'll bring your car back. Here it is 2 weeks later. Not wanting to hear it. In the meantime, communication. Understand who and what's going on, because all of you people standing around talking about, oh my bad, it only means that you're not paying attention. It only means that you're sitting around walking in some sort of a daze and that you don't understand how to walk to the right, like we drive to the right. You're too busy in the way. Just like going to the grocery store. Why are you on this side of the aisle? You can't see from there to there. And yet, why is your cart in the middle of the aisle? Why? Because you're selfish. You don't really care. I do, but then I don't. But that's my issue. Okay, here we go. When it comes to these issues in your community, you need to go to the city or the state or whoever, file a complaint. Don't play. Your roads, your streets, your trees, all these things. Put it in writing. Stop talking. And I'm saying that simply because I just was listening to some news here about this protest at the inauguration. Did exactly what everybody said. Why are you doing this? You're not going to do anything. You're going to stand around, and protest. Oh, Donald Trump, he's bad. But you're not no better. You're not going to do nothing. You're going to sit there and talk, run your mouth, and then use your money to go home and then talk about, oh, wow, it's horrible what they're doing to those poor people. Yeah. Stop running your mouth. I believe my master told me to have few words. And these are my few words. 30 minutes worth, maybe a little more, I'm sorry. But here we go. I tell you what. Number one issue here about local is to be consistent and continue to be diligent. See, these are the two things that make the difference between the rich and the poor. See, the poor are lazy. They get distracted. They want to go eat. Okay? I'm lazy. I want to go lay down. Try exercise and do some sit-ups to quit being so fat. Kept telling my mother that forever. But here we are. In the meantime, thank you all. I appreciate it. God bless you. And hopefully we can communicate later. It's number 3. We're going to move forward and go from there. And let me say this. Look around in your community. And those that are not as fortunate, try to help them out. And I don't mean the well-to-do or my family is wealthy. I mean orphans. These people don't have families. Find out who they are. Help them. Stop letting people fall through the cracks. Why? Because the two main people that are going to be disgruntled and begin the chaos are the wealthy. Okay? These are people that live in good communities where they have computers. They have all these things that the poor people don't have. But then they use that to be disgruntled to say, well, wow, this other person, these wealthier people, oh, I'm mad because they have more than me. So I'm saying, help the orphans. Help the widows. Help those people that have cataclysmically come into need. If you don't, bad business. Here's Michael. Thanks again. I'll see you next week. Bye.